Hello again, and thank you for joining today. We are going to do, or we are going to kind of build or explore together a chat app, very similar to, say, WhatsApp or iMessage or anything like that. That will be built exclusively in .NET MAUI, that will be running on Windows, Android, and even on a smartwatch. All of these through Parse Live Queries. And this time around, I'm gonna show some kind of complicated example in the sense where, since we are also running on a smartwatch, we would need to account for any kind of situations where, for example, we don't need to receive too many messages at the same time, or some stuff like that. So in that sense, we are going to see how to manage using our XFnet. But of course, enough talking. Let me show you how it works. Very simple. The way I've done it, I could simply say something like hi and send. So of course I have to log in, then log in, then log in. Perfect. 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 I have to make sure everything is well positioned. So now we are all logged in, and to be sure, we can simply write a message here saying hi, send, and we received it here. We didn't receive here because we did not connect to live queries, but we got it here in the watch. So if I connect here, of course I will not get what I had before because I did not set the function, but I could still do it. And I could try again. So hello, send. Then now all of us are gonna get it, right? So hello, everyone gets it. Hello, everyone gets it. See? And now, of course, this one's always going to have two because he wasn't there since the beginning, right? So that's perfectly normal. And if I try on the watch as well, Ivan, and I send four, now three, of course, then four here. And of course, as you would see, the watch is Android 14, the phone is Android 15, and the PC is, of course, Windows. So Windows. See? Okay, so of course, let us try. I did some edit, but it's a very linear way. So if I click on edit, it would update this one into now YB or something like that, I think, right? So if I do it, it would update the watch, the phone, and the PC at the same time. Let's try. Oh yes, see? And if I scroll down, see, everyone is now updated. Of course, if I want to delete, I can simply delete, 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 and can send again. So this one, assuming this one had nothing, he knew nothing since the beginning, send again, try again, bam, everyone now has two and he still has one. So everything is perfectly crystal. Oh, of course I can delete another one, so delete from Windows, everyone's gone. So we are, oh, if I try, say, test, send, if I delete something that exists only between the watch and Windows, it would go through. So right, so hi here, if I delete here, all of them are gone. So the phone doesn't need to manage anything, but the rest, those that are concerned, deleted the data. So now let me show you what is going on in the back end. If I go through and minimize this, and if I kind of remove this, oh my gosh, yes, perfect. So it is usually very simple. It's just that I made it very tricky for no reason. But I wanted to extend and show how performant it can be to work with Parse Live Queries, in the sense where you can do a lot of things with relatively fewer lines of codes compared to other platforms. For example, here you would see I have something like retry delay seconds and the max retries. This is, for example, for the watch, wherein the resources can be intensive and you may not have resources all the time. Say, for example, you're in background or something like that. So what will happen is, if you open the app and it goes in and you send it in background, it would, and what happens usually is that Android would wait for a while. Then if there's no activity, it would then try to try to clean resources, then kill the app, right? So for the first time, it would try to clean resources by closing the connection. This is when you would retry, with the use of rx.net, you would retry in order to revive, in quotes, right, in order to revive the app, in kind of revive app, right, sort of that way. And of course, when you revive, you have to reconnect again so that we can ensure a continuous flow. If there's an error, you can then again revive. Say for example you wanted to connect but at that time, say, I don't know, let me take an example. You open the app and then your internet connection wasn't set up yet, so it fails. Then after opening, your internet connection is back unstable, then it has to reconnect, right? So it's the same thing really, like this one here. It's just, in a different sense. For example, if there was an error, it's an explicit error somewhere around. Now of course on subscribe, it has to tell when it is subscribed. For batches, so I implemented batches. Here I set the timer to 0, but let me actually set it down to 2 seconds, and you would see what gives when I put it to 2 seconds. It's really fantastic in the sense where whenever you put the batch here, say you're on a watch, you don't wish for to have information like very fast on your watch. If of course, yes, some watches are very powerful, but in the case where you want to account for watches that can be slow, you would go ahead and implement a throttle timer, or a kind of a way to batch control your events, wherein here is the information, the app on the PC, this is on the phone, and let me open that in the watch as well. Okay, if I don't think I need to reconnect on the watch and on the phone, but because like I said, I did not close the app, so it should sustain connection. But let me try. Tests should work. Oh, sorry. Send. Yep, still works. So regardless of how much I've put the app in background or anything like that, it still retain connection. I may even, you know what, for another example, I would go ahead and minimize. Yeah, you know what, I would, since I need to work with new versions, I would close these versions here. So let me recompile for everything and be right back. Alrighty, so everything's as good. Again, just to be sure, we connect again, connect again, and this. Okay, so from what I checked, this method right here would throttle, in the sense where it would, um, I really thought I had set the right method, but it's not exactly what I wanted. This right here would control all of the, it would get all of the incoming events coming through, throttle everything according to the time that you have done here, and it should release them in batches, right? It should release them in batches, and what would happen here is that ideally, of course, you should be able to process the events in batches right here when you subscribe. But the issue is that I had not finished the implementation, so when it releases in batches of 3, I would always get 1 only. But that's fine, no worries. Let me show you still. If I have my example in Windows and I have my example in Android, I would do something, let's say, oh, but of course, important is, if I have set the timer to be 2 seconds, if I receive multiple messages in less than 2 seconds, then it would only release the last message that came through. So let me just try something. You know what, let me try, I would write something that makes sense, then I would end with something that does not make sense, and it is the thing that does not make sense that will be showed, just to prove to you that, that's how the logic goes through. So if I do something that makes sense, Ivan, then I will send this and write something rubbish, then send this, then this, then this. Let's see who comes. See, here you have pretty much nothing actually. See, Ivan does not come, but if I try Ivan again and send, it would come through, right? Ivan came through now. And of course, since he came in batch, that's why it came in duplicate. But you have to refine your code. But all of that to say, it still comes through. Sorry, and depending on how you optimize your code, everyone does the same thing, of course. So if I send this, Ivan came through, and mobile is this. Yeah. So I get I guess I get 10 because I did some. I have to kind of tune in again something here, or the way I process something here. But at the end of the day, like I said, if say for example you have, like, you could go through in event tracking for a sport or anything like that. If you only wish to send out to the users the latest information only, then you can use this in order to receive all of the data. In fact, you can even receive the data, and somewhere around here you could do something. You could implement a method that would, do something, right? You could kind of intercept here, do something with group. If you had some, if you want to do some saving or some anything like that, right? Say for example you want to give the latest information to a user, but you need to save the past information because user might want to go through the history, right? So that's it. You service two ends at the same time, all in one block of code. But of course, very important to mention that if you sit only on this one, say, because at the end of the day it's one line of code, just one really long line that we have wrapped around. But if you sit only on one line of code, then you might find yourself in a very very long. You see, this one is really pretty ugly in my opinion. So I would suggest thinking about combining, like I showed here. It's a very dumb example. It doesn't really. I didn't even implement it in the user end, but like I said, right, you could simply ensure that you have several subscription done, and then you combine them, and you can simply, sorry, you have several objects that you want to observe, then you combine them and you subscribe to one, and you make sure that you only get fed with one stream of information, let's say it that way. So yeah, that's pretty much that. Of course, deleting would work the same everywhere. If I delete this guy, it deletes also duplicates. Thankfully it would add duplicates and delete I suppose it also updates duplicate. Let me see. Delete. No, yeah, this one. Yeah, only one. That's fine. It's fine. It's a box, so that's fine. So delete this one, delete here, and delete here. Perfect. So that is how you would implement up. If you wish to see, of course, the front end, something very simple, you would simply have a grid with a bunch of collection views, bunch of buttons, bunch of labels, and yeah, I'm using MVVM. The product is very minimal, very minim. Oh my god, very minimalistic. Perfect. So very minimal, very simple, very simple. Using only the MVVM and the MAUI toolkit, and then the Parse Live Query that I developed. And in that sense, of course, yeah, everything is included in the source code except the API keys, of course. But I use back for app, and to show that I indeed use back for app, if I go ahead and say type a message, say Ivan send. Oh, let us be sure that we have the status. This is the database having all of the messages. Let me show you. Okay, if I refresh, you would see the very last message that it has is this one. But let me send Ivan. Oh yes, if I send Ivan, would I go? No, I have to log in. Perfect. So if I delete this and send again, accounting for duplicates, sent. Perfect. And if I refresh here, not here, where is it? Oh, Ivan, send Ivan. Perfect. And if I check here, perfect. See, Ivan sent here. So Ivan sent from tests. Duplicate here, but only one entry in the database. If I reload here, yeah, same thing. Duplicate it. Yeah, there you go. So that is as simple as that. If I update here and I refresh my database, it now shows now YB, same as in the client app. Should be here. Yes. And if I delete, and if I check here, all of these, perhaps these three should be gone. Let's see. Yeah, all gone. So there we go. A simple full CRUD app sort of full because I did not do the update myself, but it's sort of full. Here I would leave as 0 for example's sake. Throw to, well, it's already clear enough, but yeah, you would simply need to tune in the code yourself in order to fit whatever you want. Pretty simple. I wanted to make it as simple as possible, so hopefully everything is all good. So far for Parse Live Queries, we return only object dictionary. That would mostly always be a string of objects, and knowing the data that you're supposed to receive, you can decode that using pretty much anything that you need. For example, I have a helper method that would decode everything and even go ahead and log in the keys that it did not find. For example, let's say I would send Ivan. Okay, so what it would do is it would decode everything that corresponds to my class. My class is class, sorry, just a second, test chat, right? It would decode unique key, messages, username, platform is deleted, but it would not decode created at, updated at, class name and object ID because it does not exist. And anything else, for example ACLs and stuff like that, it will not decode because they are not part of what I really need, right? And I didn't map them inside a mapper, so that's why I did something. I wanted to do something as simple as a helper at least that could help